When I was 24 years old, I started dating guys in their 30s, and this is what I found. First, I would just like to emphasize that age does not equal compatibility. People love to say that age gap relationships will never work because what do you have in common with somebody X amount of years older or younger than you? It doesn't matter. Science has shown that age has nothing to do with whether or not you're able to establish a connection with somebody. Will people shit on you because society has some strange ideas about gender gap relationships? Sure, but their beliefs have no actual basis. The thing about older people is that different things tend to be more important to them. For example, they might be prioritizing their health, spending time with their family, spending time on their hobbies. They tend to have more responsibilities to others, including their job, and more responsibilities to themselves. And I think that a lot of times because of this, they may struggle with balancing a romantic relationship in the midst of everything else going on in their lives. Not everyone's good at time management, and a lot of people realize they can't prioritize as many things as they would like to. They also tend to be further along in their career, obviously because they're older, but this also means, like I said, that they have more responsibility, but also more stress, and their job can often take up more of their time. Especially in New York, people here are so career-oriented and constantly hustling. And a lot of women don't seem to mind if a guy is working a lot as long as they're bringing home the bank. But if you're like me and quality time is your love language, maybe that doesn't really work out for you. Older men also tend to have more relationship experience, which is great because they've had opportunities to learn from their mistakes, learn a couple of things about what it means to be a good partner, learn more about themselves, learn what they like and what they don't like. But it also means they've had more time to be traumatized by their relationships. Yes, it means they've had time to work on themselves, but it also means they have had time to accumulate new trauma. You need to date somebody who's willing to work on themselves. You need to date somebody who has worked on themselves. I find that generally I do still prefer to date older men. However, it does not always end up working out, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they have their shit together more.